We can go whenever you...
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Near Mint Condition, where today we are taking over for Omar, who again is catching Pokemon in the woods, but that's okay because we have you all covered and we have a full crew in today. To the person on my right is
KodyCollects. Thanks for having me, Dom. We're taking over the channel. When Omar's away, the kids will play. Maybe I'll say.
That's right. I like
that.
I like that. It's a great spin and word on the 2003 run of Teen Titans.
Cody, you're playing us.
That's what I was
behind
trying
you. It's like some weird Inception Mobius loop thing going
Whoa,
on.
That's weird.
I'm
Maybe
not
hopefully it doesn't give everybody a headache or anything.
Jeez. Also, it seems to be on a time delay, so it's even stranger.
Yeah,
that's all good to me. We got the monitors on, and the person below me without a monitor but with a DC and Marvel sign on is.
I'm the adorable Omnidog. Thank you for inviting me, and I apologize for being late. I have to add an extra 15 minutes to my activities. Yeah, because of what I went through on Wednesday, but now I know. I'll make sure I'm on time. So there you go. And I know
better late than
in the chat.
Just love that you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too. And another person we might be good to see, sometimes in clarity, sometimes in the questioning of what goes on in the brain of his, is the Latewegian Assassin, and that person is...
Yes, Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press, formerly of Wizard Magazine. And yes, I was nearly late today because I often have coffee on Saturday mornings with a friend of mine, and I did kind of indulge in the Scandinavian goodbye, which is that you say to your friend, I need to get going here. But before you go, you have one last thing to discuss, and you kind of engage in that one last thing. And you're like, I still need to go. And, no, there's one more thing I want to discuss. And then you rinse and repeat that 5 or 6 times, always while edging closer to the door. So, but I was still here earlier than Jess was, so it's okay.
You always got to throw a shot in at some point, Lars.
By the way, I'll add, since I'm on the stream, there tends to be a lot of Doctor Who and Legion of Superheroes questions, which I'm more than happy to engage in. But, we have other things to talk about. So I tell you what, let's try to keep those to maybe 2 questions each. And so on, because, we got to, I don't want to bore people too badly if they're not.
Indeed.
But I am happy to answer those questions. Yeah.
I am indeed. And again, I am very happy that everybody is here and that we are all alive, well, and healthy. Yeah. I wanted to do one thing real quick. I did make a video announcement today, and I will be making adjustments in the future because I think the font that I have been using a little bit too small, and just for the respect of everyone, this is a me thing. I'm going to enlarge it as more DC updates roll in. And again, if you have any suggestions, an issue added or 2, or maybe other minor suggestions for DC books upcoming, we are always happy to take that in so we can talk about those with our contacts. The Batman by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus is going to collect the Urban Legends cheer story with him and Marcus Toe doing a Red Hood story in the first 6 issues of Urban Legends. And it's going to collect also as well Batman the Night 1 through 10, Batman 125 through 138, and the entirety of the Gotham War crossover event with Teenie Howard's Catwoman and Catwoman 57 through 58, the Prelude issue, the Battle Lines one-shot, the Red Hood 2-issue series by Matt Rosenberg, and the Scorched Earth one-shot. So it's all in there. And it's the same contents that I talked about with the earlier video. So just again, for clarification's sake, this is what was sent to us earlier this week. So that is a big thank you from the folks over at DC.
Some of our viewers seem to be expressing that they have cataracts, so maybe the print should be a little bigger there. Yes,
I agree. And it's not even in the case of like anything else. It's just that when I made that specific lower third, it was made I want to say it was made for something else, but I was like, hey, hold on, I can use this for the animations for the DC videos. So I'll be making those adjustments, guys. You guys don't have to worry about that. I will make sure that I'll make sure that adjustment is made on that front. Let's see. Have any of you guys
really
read
high production quality from Dom? Dom kills it with the production quality.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. How's this says? Has anybody ever read Gargoyles comics? What say ye?
I have not read those.
Coming out of Dynamite, I think, right?
They might be quite good, but Gargoyles kind of missed me by because the time of life where it came out, I just wasn't able to watch it all that well. So yeah, it seemed good though, and a lot of members of Star Trek: Next Generation were doing voices for it. So I've not read the comics. Have you guys read the comics?
Missed me. It was before my time. I'm not a Gargoyles.
It was way after
Gargoyles.
my time.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about the show, but I've never
Who's
watched
writing
it.
the comic, I guess it would be my question.
Greg Wiseman is the same dude who is the producer of Young Justice.
Okay.
The TV show.
There you go.
Okay.
So I am unfortunately unaware of that thing. Russell asks, I got the first 2 Triangle Era Omnis. Should I buy Death and Return or wait for the 3rd Triangle Era Omni? I would say get the 3rd Triangle Era Omni, but what do you guys say?
Yeah. If you don't have Death and Return already, then you just want to stick with the Triangle Era, definitely.
I was eyeballing the Triangle Era Omni 1. I was eyeballing it, guys. Should I pull
Sure.
the trigger?
Is it still in print? And maybe
I think it should be.
So,
Okay.
Somewhere, Organic Price Books, I think they have one.
Okay.
A couple lying around. So I was eyeballing it.
There we go.
Sure.
Kody, good morning to you. Question: do any of you guys own the making and behind the scenes of books and films and shows you love?
Like comic, or
Yeah, TV shows,
collected,
movies,
yeah.
etc.
I don't personally, but if you're a fan of that show, it makes a lot of sense.
Coincidentally, I just got in, although I haven't really gone through it, The Art of Futurama.
Oh, there you go.
Which I haven't had time to go through, but looks to be excellent. So there is that.
That's cool.
There's I can't remember the title of it. There's a really good conceptual book on many of Jim Henson's early designs, because his early Muppet designs look very, very different from what it became. And there's some oral histories that are really good. That oral history of Star Wars, oral history of Star Trek. Those actually have quite a lot of value talking to them. And then, of course, Doctor Who is probably the most researched TV show ever. So I've just got tons of that. But yeah, oral history of Star Wars, oral history of Star Trek, Art of Futurama, and then that conceptual book on Jim Henson's I can't remember the title of.
Oh, sure.
I just bought, if anybody's familiar with Double Fine, the game studio, they do Psychonauts. So I just bought a making of documentary of Psychonauts 2 because they were at a video game convention I attended a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I think stuff like that's real cool. If you're like a big fan of that property, it all makes sense. So,
Interesting. Logan asks, can you talk about the Ra's al Ghul? Okay. So the Ra's al Ghul 4 issues are just the covers. They're the covers same in the same way that they're putting in the limited collector's edition issue 51. It's just a cover. There's nothing new added to the Omni. Those are just covers that they're going to be putting in.
just covers, huh?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Okay, thank you for the super chat, Nick. Apologies for getting this a little bit late. I need answers. What is going on with Danny Ketch Omnibus Volume 3? I heard push back and canceled. I have been told by Omar that he will have more information on this when he gets back on vacation. I don't want to slip up and accidentally say something that is off key. I'm going to let. I apologize, Nick, and again, I thank you for the super chat. But he will have a better explanation to the behind the scenes of what happened with the book in a future appearance of his on the channel.
Dom, before the super chat, can you hit news Pooey channel? Can you get that question for me? I can actually answer this question about Wizard.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Hold on. I apologize. Where are you seeing it?
It's about 5 up from the super chat.
5 up from the super chat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count, guys. Okay, there you go. It's a question
go.
for Lars. Were you involved with the all dressed up and no place to go annual Halloween features in Wizard? If so, how many submissions would they receive on average?
Sorry, I can actually answer this question. So the Wizard Halloween parties were as insane as they were made out to be. There were people who would spend months preparing their costumes for this, and they would coordinate too. So a lot of Wizard staff. One year they all showed up as the Teen Titans. One year they were all the Avengers. One year they would spend like 1-2 months doing this. I was proud that I would fling it together in the last few hours. So because I really respect cosplayers. I don't have the time or money to really indulge in it. So I was like, okay, I got to go to the Wizard Christmas party or Halloween party. And I was like, Tempest. I think I'll go as Tempest, the former Aqualad. Okay. So I just ran to the store. I bought some sort of skiing outfit that vaguely looked Tempest-ish. And I put on these gloves and I painted a scar on my face. And I was like, I'm Tempest, bitch. And it looked great, and they photographed me and they put me in the magazine. I was so proud that it took like 2-3 hours to throw together and like maybe $40. But they got quite insane. Also, that was the year that I won the Twister competition. And because you live in New York, you don't have any extra money, and because the prize was a $20 gift card to Suncoast. And I was like, I really need, because that's the value of a Doctor Who VHS. So I really threw myself into the melee to win Twister to get that $20 gift card. And then I went out and bought a Doctor Who VHS because that's how I am.
I wouldn't take Lars as being a super flexible type, but that's good to know.
How dare you? Excuse me. Farm boy, former farm. I was raised on a farm. I mean,
Okay, I got you.
That's surprisingly fit. Yeah.
You gotcha. Sasmer's checking in on you, Jess.
Yes, are you okay?
Oh, thank you, Sasmer. I appreciate that. It hurts to get up from my chair and to sit down. I had my hip replaced Wednesday. So I'm going through various exercises, pain treatments, stuff like that. I have to get up every like 10 minutes just to walk around. So I appreciate your checking in on me, Saz. That's nice of you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Let's see. Another question for Lars. Have you had a chance to see 2 recovered Doctor Who episodes, and how awesome did you think they were?
Unadulterated joy. So the funny thing was, they were going to be released on the BBC's iPlayer, and like, how are you going to get them here in the United States? And now, if it was me, I would have offered them for sale on, like iTunes or something like that, because like I would have paid money for them. I think they lost out with some money. So I had lined up a pirate, and I had loaned up someone to loan me their VPN. Although I was then told to use the VPN, you still have to have BBC login credentials. So I thought this was going full circle. I actually knew a member of the classic Doctor Who production team. I was like, well, I'll borrow their login credentials. Then I'll be using, the logging into the BBC with someone who worked on classic Doctor Who to watch classic Doctor Who. But then they just gave it to us for free on YouTube. They were breathtakingly awesome, and you realize that like that story's a contender for the grimmest, harshest story they've ever done. I mean, it's I don't say that critically. I mean, it's really excellent, but they are in mortal peril like from the first second. So yeah, it's great stuff. I'm told on reliable authority, it's been said that there are 2 other missing Hartnell episodes in private hands, although I'm told that those are not significant finds, which probably means they're from sucky stories like Galaxy 4's Celestial Toymaker. So yes, I really enjoyed these because every return is a treasure, but these were particularly great.
Earth's Geomancer asks, what was it? Was a hip replacement planned or something that came up last time?
Yeah.
Best wishes on your recovery.
Thank you, Earth's Geo. It was a complete surprise. Quite frankly, I noticed pain and I thought it was a hernia. So I went to the hernia doctor and she said, I want your hip to get checked. I got it checked, and went to the hip doctor. He said, you need a new hip. So thank you, Harvey. So that happened like a month ago that I got scheduled for a hip replacement. I had no idea why it was bothering me, but yeah, it was a surprise. It took everybody by surprise. Thank you, Karsten.
Ours has the best lore.
We do.
Kody,
Oh,
what figure started your addiction?
Great question.
I'm holding it. I saw this question earlier in the chat. So it was the Amazing Fantasy on the retro card. I saw it at Walmart, and I didn't have any of these action figures at the point. Just the ones from when I was a kid. A couple Spider-Mans here and there. But once you take it out of the box, you start messing with it like a modern day figure. It just like the wave of nostalgia just hit me from when I was a kid. So I raided my parents' attic for all my old action figures. So I got them kind of sprinkled in a little bit with a bunch of the new ones. And then I'm actually sitting next to 3 McFarlanes I got to unbox for the channel. So we're going to get action figures back on the channel in a big way. We got Jessica Cruz. Pretty cool. We got Zatanna.
Doubly excellent.
Right. And then
Captain yeah, nice.
Of course, we got Black Canary. McFarlane finally making the female characters. That he's about to lose the license. So here we go.
It took him 7 years.
No, for real. It's actually kind of crazy. Now he's doing like all the characters. He's like, oh crap, we're about to lose the license. Let's just spit them out. So yeah.
Okay.
Action figures.
Kody is an addict.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
In my closet up there, there's like I don't know, probably about 20 or so that I got to unbox. It's kind of
I have mine right here.
There
too.
you go. Hey.
I got one wing on him here.
There you go. Yep.
And he's going to be swinging like this.
That's why I got him, Jet, because he comes with the web accessory. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer for the first fig.
Right? You're exactly right. So he's going to be reenacting Amazing Fantasy 15.
There you go.
And I have an action figure that I teasingly call Omar. So I'll have him carry Omar like Amazing Fantasy.
Real quickly, I don't, not to get a whole action figure thing. I'll show you my next coolest action figure real quick.
Yes, good. This qualifies as content.
I feel like everyone on Omar's channel would really appreciate it. Can you guys tell me who this is?
Sinestro. No.
That's Jack Kirby, bro.
It's a little.
Oh man, it won't
it's a
focus.
little fuzzy.
There it is.
Okay. Oh yeah. Is it Jack Kirby?
Hello, focus.
I don't.
Here, go.
Aha.
That is Jack Kirby.
Okay. Yes.
Nice, right?
He's
pretty
really
cool, right?
He's really
Where's
working
the
that
cigar?
He's working that tan, if I may say.
Yeah,
That's
true.
really
no
cool.
cigar. Yeah, that's
been
true.
in the
That's
tanning
true.
bed a while. Yeah.
It was out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. So I don't know.
Okay.
This is a must pick up when you see this, right? So
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now, not to be nosy, Kody, do you live with someone, or is your collection allowed to sprawl to whatever?
It's contained to the office. It's contained to the office for sure.
Okay.
That's the rule, you know, and I respect it.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah. I got enough shelf space for him though. So yeah, no problem.
So I had this buddy in LA, and he was a great action figure collector. He was also quite the Lothario with women. He had a rare talent.
There's the word.
He did very well with the ladies. And in fact, we took to mocking because his name was not Johnny, but I'm going to call him Johnny. We had entire buildings we designated Johnny buildings because it felt like he had worked his way through the female population. But then I was in his apartment one time, and his apartment was like, okay, like, you know, you've got action figures there in front of your books. I mean, he had that, but he had like waves and waves and rows of this title of action figures, just like cascading in front of the TV and cascading all over the place. And I said, forgive me, my friend, I don't understand how you do so well with the women.
Yeah.
With an environment like this.
Like 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah, and he said, oh, I never bring them here. I'm like, well, that's pretty obvious. Yes. Okay. Because I mean, it was a bit much. I mean, he made your collection there look, very restrained, very, very restrained.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm trying to be selective. It's tough with the DC characters because I don't know, some of them are just so cool. But yeah, try to be selective, not having multiples of characters besides like Batman and Superman. And yeah, try to keep it under control as much as I can.
So again, weirdly, I feel like I've become the avatar in this channel of discipline and restraint because, I have about 650 graphic novels. Jess, you think you have 3,000 or 4,000, right?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Okay. So Kody, what are your protocols and criteria as to which figures you buy and don't buy?
It's a fascinating question, Lars. I think about like for everybody's got their own criteria for what they collect and stuff. I find that stuff fascinating. For me, it's got to be like the definitive version of that character in that line, if that makes sense. So with McFarlane, a lot of the times it'll be like they only have like one Shazam, let's say, or maybe like two. So it's kind of easy to just pick that one that looks to be your favorite. But for the longest time, I mean, I try to start out with you just go with the Bat family up there. But then you get a 2-pack, I think was my issue. One of the 2-packs, it was the Nightfall Batman that came with the Bane. So now I've got like, nothing but Bat family, but now I got this Bane. Right. Oh, now you pick up a villain here or there, right? Because Bane's gonna be lonely. He's gotta have another villain next to Bane, it just grows like that. And before you know it, it's like
Bane has a very romantic soul. And he's just a poet at heart. And he
breaks Lars back on the regular, is what he's
exactly.
Trying to say.
Yes. Because it's
that way. I don't
like to your question. Yeah,
one of my best friends in town is a chiropractor, so I don't have to go to him as often.
There you go.
Big hi from Big Stu in Orlando. Where's Omar?
Pokemon Go.
Catching Pokemon in the woods is what he told me to say on Wednesday, and he even sent me a picture.
Yeah, he and the family go into the woods, a cabin every once in a while. I'm certain it's not part of a cult, so it's okay.
It's not part of a cult. So yes, he's coming back Monday. I promise. There are no, at least from what I've been told, anyways. I'm not aware of any Daredevil by Nascenti Omnibus Volume 1s getting back in stock. But he will be back on Monday. He will be back indeed on Monday. Where on earth did it go?
It's his glamping weekend. I mean, my frail mother tried to indulge in glamping for a while, and I kind of told her this is a very bad
but it's better if you're catching Pokemon. So
absolutely,
he has activities to do in the woods. Certainly. Do you know if the history of the DC universe will be collected in the Crisis Finest book? I know it was in time, but I felt
no.
It will be collected in a future DC Finest Crisis.
Yeah, have they announced the contents for Volume 4 of the Crisis? No, they haven't. Okay, one sort of expects it'll be in Volume 4, Crisis Infinite Earths DC Finest. It will be in the Absolute Crisis Infinite Earths that's coming out in June, or in the back of that.
Yeah, late June. It will be in that nice. Prismatic,
which is good. Frankly, that you wanted it included. Yeah,
indeed. When does Uncanny Avengers take place? I want to read it, but I feel like I need context. Chewy, if you're asking about the Remender Uncanny Avengers run, it follows right after Avengers versus X-Men, but you don't necessarily need to have read Avengers versus X-Men in order to understand that story. If you're asking about the first Jerry Duggan run that follows right after, there's also not much context that you'd need to spend. It's post Secret Wars. But if you are reading Uncanny Avengers in the Fall of X era, which is the second to last period in the Krakoa era, I would suggest reading surrounding stories alongside it, like Duggan's X-Men run, in order to understand it. At least at the very least, issue 6 of Jerry Duggan's adjectiveless X-Men run.
Yeah, the Remender run, I'm not sure you need a huge amount of pre-knowledge. I mean, it's just that I think the premise is that things are horribly screwed up, and we want to team up some of the Avengers with some of the X-Men to basically prove that the two communities can get along. I believe it's framed more as a political stunt than anything else.
Indeed, which is how you get Havoc doing a whole entire speech, and then Brian Michael Bendis says, "Wait, hold on, we can't do that. So we're gonna have Kitty Pryde have a response speech in response to the Havoc speech."
Yeah. Now, is that the one? It's Remender, so it gets a bit grisly. Is that the one where they remove Xavier's brain, among other things?
Yes.
Yeah.
With John Catley on art.
Yeah. I mean, Revender's a strong writer, but there's sometimes I could do without kind of the gore. But yeah.
You don't necessarily. I mean, there are threads that he does pick up because, again, if you are a writer over at Marvel, you're gonna put in stuff that you've worked on previously before, if you have the opportunity to, in a brand new run. But you don't have you do not have need to have read Uncanny X-Force to understand Uncanny Avengers at all.
Sure.
Okay, not to turn this back into a figure action figure thing, but I am going to. I got the wings on the webbing.
Many congratulations!
Yeah.
And Kody, are you using this web? I just discovered it. It goes like right here, and he can swing on it.
Like a flexible web? I feel like I
did it not?
Flexible web.
Maybe I got this off of eBay.
Maybe that's a newer one. But I did. You mentioned it. I did. If you guys, that one looks familiar. That one it came with. Yeah. I'm not sure where you get the flexible one. But I have in the past, using like bread ties, you can make your own kind of flexibly, kind of Spider-Man looking web.
Oh yeah, cool.
Let's see.
Dom, can you confirm if Batman Zdarsky volume? It will include the Cheer story. The reason to why, for whatever reason, it didn't get on there is somebody mentioned earlier about the text being small. I'm going to plan on blowing it up for the next time. It will include Cheer. You do not have to worry about it being excluded out of Omni 1.
Yeah.
So that is on me, guys.
I'm sorry, everyone. We've devolved into an episode of Toyfare here. So sorry, I have to share that. So when I moved to New York, and I'm working for Wizard Entertainment, and as I mentioned on this channel, my parents weren't really supportive of this whole geek thing, and my father didn't think you should spend money on that, and my mother thought it was all a portal to Satan. But I'm trying to get along with my mother, and I've just moved to New York. And I'm like, well, I should maybe send her one of these magazines to show her, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I've succeeded, and all this. And I was like, well, I can't send her Wizard because that will be Satan, and I definitely can't send her Inquest because that will be double Satan. So I was like, well, I'll try sending her an issue of Toyfare, and so it was like issue 1 or something like that because Toyfare had just started. So I do this, and nothing in there horrified her more than they did a competition between Amigo Spidey and a hard plastic Spidey, much like you guys have been showing. But there was Amigo Spidey, and they took the Amigo Spidey and the hard plastic Spidey and did horrible things to them. They tried melting them. They tried assaulting them with baseball bats, and then famously they cooked them in gravy and got dogs to chew on them.
Well,
and I well, it's action figures and but I sent this to my mother, and she writes me back to say she is beyond disgusted, because when she sees action figures, she thinks these books should be for children, and it's like, what are we doing to the children, and so on, and I'm just like, these aren't magazines for children, for God's sakes. But anyway, after that, I resolved never to send her a magazine ever again.
Learn your lesson.
Yeah,
you should. Yeah.
Nothing, because you'd think, just figures. I mean, how?
Yeah. As someone's saying, that does sound pretty satanic. I suppose cooking Spider-Man in gravy and feeding him to a hellhound is a bit demonic, possibly.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
Best Thanksgiving ever.
When Mother said it was a portal to Satan, I mean, she wasn't automatically wrong. It's just,
that's what I should do for my toy reviews. You're right.
Yeah, you need to make yourself a custom Mephisto figure, Kody, and
I should like microwave them and stuff.
Should you rate it out of 5 Archdukes of Hell?
Right, I get my dog Jerry to rate out the taste.
Well, because what's really funny is that I do have among the Star Wars toys I grew up with, I do have an old Stormtrooper that somehow got left out on the lawn or something, and my beloved dog at the time did chew on it, and so that dog has long ago died, but I still have the stormtrooper with his teeth marks in the helmet.
That's a great memento. That's sweet.
It is kind of a great memento, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad
He
you
lives
touched that
on.
one.
He lives on through you in that.
Absolutely. He was a good dog. He was a really good dog.
There also will be more to Volume 2, Marco, just in case you are wondering what I am not at liberty to say, unfortunately. Dom, should I be hopeful for a Green Arrow winning Volume 2? You should be incredibly hopeful that you'll be getting a Green Arrow winning Volume 2. That's all I'll make it as. What are your guys' top 3 Legion of Superheroes characters?
Ooh.
Thank you, John, for the super chat. I'm going to start. Cody, have you read any Legion, and do you have a top 3?
No, I've not. But my honestly, my only experience with any Legion characters has been recently in DC but it was like the evil version. So I've not even gotten the true to form.
Give me your Evil Legion DC characters then, because that does
what was the main girl? A Saturn girl? Was that yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought her and what was the dude's name? They called him Garfield, I think.
Garfield?
You mean
is that his name? Not like his first name, not his superhero, not his Legion name.
Can you be a little more specific?
Oh, this is from Doomsday Clock?
This is from DCKO. Saturn Girl and this guy. I got the sense that they have had past relationships.
Garth, right? You're talking about him?
You mean Garth. You mean
there we go, Garth. So I thought that their kind of relationship, I would love to maybe read some of early stuff to explore that, but I kind of got a sense that they were like these evil versions were kind of like they had a love for each other underneath these kind of evil versions. So I like Josh Williamson kind of getting into that.
Traditionally, Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad are the most enduring couple.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, for them, I was like, oh man, I want them to escape kind of the influences of Darkseid, and and it kind of left off in an interesting point. I'll have to see what's next for these evil sort of versions. If anybody's read their appearances in DCKO, but
the Joshua Williamson series is about to launch, and presumably it will not be their evil selves, because I mean, who
we think of for art on that?
Not a good jumping on point.
No, it's not a good jumping on point at all. Okay, Jess, big challenge. Narrow it down to 3.
First of all, it's got to be Pharaoh Lad, because he saved the entire universe.
Too soon, dude. Too soon.
That issue's over 50 years old.
That still hurts.
It's great though. I mean, he came back as a ghost, so that was even better. Yeah. So Pharaoh Lad saving the universe. I love Saturn Girl, and I also love Princess Projectra.
Oh, that is good. Yeah.
Thank you, Lars.
I would say, see, I'm in a good position to like, if we're looking at the classic run, I like all of them. There's really no Legionnaire that when they come in, I'm like, oh God, this guy again. I would say though, Timberwolf. Timberwolf, and then it's kind of a tie between Element Lad and Lightning Lass. They're both pretty great. Wow. And then Brainiac 5, specifically as he was traditionally written, up through the Levitz era, because I actually felt quite an affinity for Brainiac 5, because the whole thing with Brainiac 5 was that in that era was that he was smart, but he was still very human. He recognized his need for friendships. He got along with the other Legionnaires well. He was brilliant, but he was a good person. Later on, it was decided that, well, if he's that smart, he must be a colossal dick. and I have never liked the approach of that Brainiac 5 is just a colossal asshole. And that's the one that's persisted.
Where did that originate?
That's a very good question. Certainly. Ooh, when did that start?
In Last Days of Lex Luthor, just because you mentioned Brainiac 5, that is a name that sticks out to me. I think in Last Days of Lex Luthor, he goes into the future. So that is another Legion heir that I am slightly familiar with, and one that sticks out, Lars. So,
I mean, Mark Waid writes him that way, but Mark didn't start that.
Right.
Mark just continued it. He's that way in the TV show. He's that. It's awful. But I mean, but no, Brainiac 5 was fascinating because there's an issue. It's called Brainy's Lucky Day, where it's kind of a day in the life of Brainiac 5, and then it goes da da da, and he's this, and what's it like to be him? This towering intellect among all these other people, da 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 da. And then the very last scene is that he gets back to his lab, and he gets the message. Oh, by the way, your best friend has died, and he is just devastated. And it's kind of this moment where you just realize all his intelligence and all his genius cannot protect him from the emotional harm if his best friend dies. And that's what he was like. But yeah, the kind of smart ass Brainiac 5 who's always kind of, deriding the other Legionnaires because they're idiots. I just don't have any time for that. But yeah, so Paul, Timberwolf, Element Lad's pretty great. Lightning Lass is pretty great, and
more like a Data. You mentioned the Next Generation, so kind of that Data archetype. That I like that a lot as I'm making my way through Next Generation.
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine if Data was a complete prick.
Right. That would. And the episodes where there's an evil version of Data. You're right.
Right. Well, yeah. That's why lore is so compelling. Well, but lore isn't like. I mean, he's evil. But even lore isn't like that, just going around insulting people for being stupid. It's really that he's up to something, we need to stop him. So
Data's a goated character. I'm loving Next Generation.
No, Data's pretty
good. Next Generation, so great.
Yeah. It's like the show I put on like every now and then while I'm working, and just put it on the back, and just good vibes, just hope.
It's among the ultimate comfort viewing. I used to for a while say that is the definitive Gen X show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but then I was like, it probably is more so Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah,
there you go.
Oh sure. I think my top 3 would be Brainy 5, Dream Girl, and Dawnstar.
Dream Girl, solid. Kody, we should have an action figure posing show.
I'm terrible at posing. Every time that's the tough part about. Like, I don't know how to get the action figure stuff working on YouTube necessarily, I guess, because like the people who are successful doing that, they do the posing. They like actually. I'm not in it for the posing. I just like to, I don't know, put them on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know.
Okay, we can have a show.
That's a good one there, though.
Thank you. We can have a show where we put our figures on the shelf.
Well, I probably told the story before, but the Toyfare office was replete with Migos, and they would be on the shelves like you have them there, but they would put the Migos in sexually compromising positions.
That does not surprise me.
There would be shelves and shelves of them in sexually compromising positions, and you just kind of get used to this. But then came the day a vice president of DC was doing a tour of the Wizard offices, and it's like, and you can notice that we see him going, that double take. It's like, that maybe wasn't the best idea. On the other hand, you visit the Wizard offices, it's probably what you would come to expect.
What's Losh figures?
Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, there you go. I'm not in with the acronyms just yet. Wait till the series starts up from Joshua Williams.
No, I understand.
A Legionnaire.
I completely.
Lars, I know you spoke very highly about this last week on Sunday, but if you could speak highly about it again.
Yeah, I think it's marvelous. I mean, the Mark Waid run, and not just Mark Waid, but like Barry Kitson's designs, Barry Kitson's art. It's probably my favorite after the classic Paul Levitz run. I'm glad they're able to get it all into one omnibus. I think that's the way to go. There's always the debate about, do you want to take one chunky omnibus or do you want 2 thinner ones? But here although we get so few Legion omnibuses, it's like, just get it all done. It's a very good, very solid, very interesting take, well written, well drawn. My only quibble is that one of the joys of classic Legion is that you could pass it from writer to writer fairly easily. Sometimes these authors come in and they put their own stamp on it. It's like, I didn't envy writers who had to follow up after Mark, just because, he does something so kind of specific to him, and then trying to fill those shoes can't have been easy. But in and of itself, it's well written, well drawn, well everything, clever, funny, meaningful. I very much look forward to having it on the shelf.
Which means that Kody will be buying it as his first Legion Omnibus when it comes out on the 8th.
Well,
of December.
it is
Mark
a good
Waid,
one.
yeah. That's a way to get me in.
You know what? It is a good entry point. It seriously is. I think that Great Darkness Saga is probably a better access point, but this is a good one. The only problem is, again, if this is the 3-boot version of Legion, and it's like, if you like it, other versions of Legion aren't like this. And that's the problem. That we talk about Legion being confusing. I don't think it is confusing because of the big cast. I think it's confusing because of all the reboots that have been done.
Because you have to reset it pretty much every single time.
And how those different versions don't match each other. And like the characters are very different in version 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it is. So no, but in and of itself, it's classy work. The Waid kits and Omnibus, yeah.
Just in generally, like the fact that the Legions are, from what I know or whatever, like they're inspired by Superman in the past or whatever. Like he goes to the Superboy and like kind of that.
Superboy, really, yeah.
It's all very, very appealing, very interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking up that Legion series when it starts up, just seeing how I like it. Because you get the sense that Josh Williamson likes the, whole Superman side of DC and really kind of respects and kind of reveres its history and stuff like that. So I'm excited for his take.
It's an odd thing because, of course, oh, there we go. Yeah. So much of it was built around Superboy, and Superboy was in every issue. And then it was the very late 70s when it was finally, there we go. It was finally decided, well, we're going to remove Superboy from the title, and finally it's not going to be Superboy and Legion of Superheroes. It's just going to be Legion of Superheroes. And you finally did feel this moment when it was like, oh yeah, the characters are being allowed to stand on their own without without the sales crutch of Superboy or Superman. So isn't that great? So I actually am perfectly fine with Superboy being the inspirational figure who's not in every single story. And he would occasionally guest star and come back, and that's fine. So, so if Williamson wants to go back to that, sure. I don't need Superboy around all the time. I think the stories can get the danger that is that sometimes the Legionnaires can feel like a secondary cast in their own story. Whereas if Superboy's gone, then it's just then. And frankly, I think the Legion's never been better than when Superboy isn't around.
Indeed.
I think didn't Superboy in Mark Waid's Action Comics, didn't he went to the explored kind of the Legion time as well, maybe for a little bit? I haven't been reading the Mark Waid stuff from Action.
Well, eventually Mark Waid brings Supergirl into the mix.
Right, okay.
But she comes in like halfway-ish through the Waid run, so it doesn't feel too intrusive, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of let's take this paradigm and plop Supergirl into it, and that worked fairly well, actually. So yeah,
indeed. Want to get to a chat about this real quick, specifically about the Bronze Age Batman Omnibus and also the Power Girl Omnibus. The Bronze Age Batman Omnibus Volume 1. People were asking again about, hey, what's the Saga of Ra's al Ghul? The Saga of Ra's al Ghul was a 1988 limited series, 4-issue series by DC that were reprints of specific issues that Dennis O'Neil did and Neil Adams did. They're only collecting the covers for Omnibus Volume 1. I want to stress that out again. The Power Girl, there was a different Power Girl Omnibus cover for the Power Girl New Beginnings and Old Friends Omnibus. The previous cover that has been showing on most of everybody's like solicitation pages, previews. If you go on Penguin, I'm sure it's there. That was the cover for what was supposed to be the previous iteration of that Power Girl Omnibus, which was strictly just the Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti stuff. When Omar asked for it to be expanded out in omnibus format, they said yes to the JSA Classified issue number 3 variant that we suggested. So I just want to point that out and make it be all clear.
So you don't need those issues 1 through 4. You will already have them in the Omni.
Exactly.
And then the Power Girl cover. Now, has the Hughes cover been confirmed, or is that just a placeholder?
No, that was confirmed as of the expansion of the omnibus? Because again, it was supposed to just be the Palmiotti and Connor stuff.
Right. Yeah.
They expanded it.
I mean, I would prefer an Amanda Connor cover myself, but you know.
Yeah. What does 3 reboot mean? What was the second? Second reboot was 0 hour, right?
Well, the term's a bit misleading since you mentioned it. What they really mean is kind of third, paradigm, third phase. Because there's the classic era that runs up to 0 hour, then they reboot. Then there's the post 0 hour stuff, which goes into the Abnett Landing stuff. That's actually, you're right, it's first reboot, but second version. And then what we call the 3 boot, we really just mean third era. But it's only the second reboot.
Yes.
Terms a bit misleading. By the time the 3 boot comes around, there's only been 2 reboots. Yes.
Finally a question I can answer.
Yes. A question to all. I found North's Unbeatable Squirrel to be one of the surprisingly best Marvel comics of the last decade plus. How does his run on Fantastic Four compare? I have not read any.
First of all, you have
it's sick.
His
FF is good.
That's high praise. Spooey, it is. I think it is moving into first place and kicking out Wade's Fantastic Four and Hickman's Fantastic Four. It has got so much heart and so much charm and so well thought out with the science about it.
The science, the injection of Ryan North's science is unbelievable. That's why he was such a good pick for the Flash over on DC. Yeah, I'm loving his Fantastic Four stuff. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's easily my favorite. And it's got like an upcoming 7th trade, so of course I'll get that, and you guys will get your Omnis Volume 1 and 2. You're welcome. But the first issue alone is, I still feel, it's a personal opinion, I feel it's the strongest, best, and one of the most wonderful stories I've ever read. And it got me, the ending of it got me all choked up. It is just, besides being, and it's got, bits of humor throughout it. It's marvelous, I think.
Lars, I don't think has read it yet.
You have the current arc right now, or like the current situation is like a evil version of Sue Storm, who calls herself the Invincible Woman, and she doesn't care about human life. She actually used Human Torch to burn out the part of her brain that makes her compassionate. So she is just going, and you really see like the extent of Sue's powers. Like, she would be capable of all of this, but she keeps it. She's got that compassion part of her that doesn't let her become this evil version. So this new arc is cool too.
So what this means is that we're gonna gift Kody Fantastic Four by John Byrne Omnibuses Volumes 1 and 2 is what I'm hearing.
Could be. I have the Mark Waid and the Jonathan Hickman 1 and 2.
Oh, those are both great.
Yep.
Well, I normally don't lie around and ponder such things, but that Wolverine issue where evil Wolverine has to invade the Fantastic Four headquarters, and he's like, he's Wolverine. He's like, I can take out Mr. Fantastic, I can take out the Thing, I can take out the Human Torch. The danger is the Invisible Woman. I mean, she, at which point she makes his irises go invisible so he can't see, and puts force fields in his lungs so he can't breathe.
That's awesome.
You're like, no, Sue Storm could be absolutely devastating. It's just that she's not that kind of person, which is good. Okay, so I will say, the Ryan North run is absolutely spectacular. I will probably buy it, even though I don't buy that much Fantastic Four. I don't own that much Fantastic Four. I don't give two shits about the science. It's such a good read, and a good Fantastic Four run, you kind of have to reinvent the wheel, get a new story percolating every 1, 2, 3, 4 issues or whatever it is. And Ryan North can do that. He's just kind of a continual he fires ideas at you like a tennis ball launcher.
Yeah.
So I will probably buy that one. Good. Yeah, and Squirrel Girl is one of the best things ever.
Indeed. And Kody, if you can tell people where, if they live in Canada, they want to pick up Volume 1 of Ryan North's Fantastic Four, let them know.
Where can
In
they get them,
Canada?
Cody?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I sent it in private chat.
Is this a sponsored throw? Am I supposed to throw to a
Yes,
sponsor?
you're supposed to, yes, indeed.
What? No one told me that.
Check your private chat, Cody.
You gotta sing, Cody.
There,
Check
there's
your
a
private-
red thing. There's a red thing. Okay. Wow, okay. That's a lie here. This segment of the video is sponsored by BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers bdcosmos.com 25% off your order of $90 or more, free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order over $250. Is that in Canadian or is that in US? I guess it's probably Canadian.
Canadian.
Good question.
Yeah, they didn't clarify. BD Cosmos shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition. See what I did there, guys?
Cosmos, the collate about the
Oh, you don't have to whack.
I don't have that part of the jig. I don't even know how it goes, but that is
Okay. After checkout, let them know Near Mint sent you, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers. New and returning customers, guys. Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, BD Cosmos, for more.
Nice again, dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well done. You only a little bit came across like a hostage. Okay. Yes. So 25% off on an order of $99 or more.
Right.
Free shipping everyone in Canada if it's over $250, which we presume is Canadian dollars.
Pretty sure.
But we're not sure.
And Omar, the check will be in the mail from Omar, I'm sure. My cut on that sponsor.
Okay, yeah. And some of this text was in all caps, which tends you should either read it like screaming or like Cthulhu. Because it does.
But also there's like no spaces some places, and the formatting's all whack, and
if new and returning customers are all caps, then you should probably go entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Or my Batman, what?
that was on me. I didn't mean to.
All right, that's my Cthulhu voice.
It got triggered.
I mean, I'm not even Canadian, and I want to order from them now. So yeah.
That's so awesome.
Everyone talks about the big three, but just across the border, we got another source over there. So yeah,
we do. Lionheart says, "I've always said the Invisible Woman is the best member of the Fantastic Four because of her powers."
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of the Ryan North run, a little, maybe it's like a 3-issue to Lars's point, like excellent just idea. The Fantastic Four are all split out through time. I think that was the first arc of the new volume, I believe. I can't remember, or maybe that was in the previous volume. I can't remember, but yeah, just the Fantastic Four split out across time. And I think Sue Storm was all the way in the front end, like she was closest to the Earth, getting the sun engulfing the Earth or whatever. And then that's a great showcase of her powers and how you got to get so creative, right? So I think Ryan North's just so good at that. It really makes it feel like the Fantastic Four are working through these issues like in the moment, and just great characterizations all around. So I think his Fantastic Four stuff is excellent.
Now, isn't it funny how things get rounded on a previous show? I just mentioned that I'm not the biggest Fantastic Four devotee, and yet I would be buying this. And I said, some people interpreted this to mean that I don't like Fantastic Four. I was like, no, I didn't say that. I just said that I'm not.
You won't buy every. You're not a completionist.
You're pickier.
No, but this is the world we live in. You are either like total frothing fanatic about something, or you really don't like it. It's like, no, I just like, I've got the Jonathan Hickman. The Hickman run's probably my favorite. Yeah, I've got the Hickman run. Well, I actually have the Mark Millar run, which people don't seem to like, but I do. I've got the Fraction run. So yeah, I own Fantastic Four. I just don't buy every single one.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
NMC Challenge: buy a DC Compact Edition box set to donate to your local library or school library.
That is actually a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Go ahead, Lars.
Also, we should do a reminder that okay, sorry. Here's another bit of Lars lore, but it is relevant, I promise. So I live here in Des Moines, and we have 5 branches of our library. And actually, the graphic novel section is just superb. I mean, somebody really stepped up and did a bunch of ordering. And I was friends with this librarian, and I said, I almost want to go in and thank your manager because the graphic novel section is so incredible. And she says, "Oh, I can send you in right now." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go into the manager and I say, "Hey, your graphic novel section is really rocking, and I just wanted to thank you that I've never had it better as a library patron." And they almost started crying because they said only 1 out of 100 people who comes through that door is here to offer a compliment. I'm like, well, it's well earned. But then they explained to me that the Des Moines Library, they have a section called Request a Book, and you can just go in there and request that they buy a book, and if it's in print, they'll buy it for you, and you'll be first on the waiting list. So when you talk about buy a compact edition box set, you can buy it yourself, or maybe get your local library. If there's a Request a Book section on it, maybe request that they buy it. And let them pay for it. That'd be a very, very good idea.
I still need a local library card.
I want to give a big shout out to my library because I volunteered for 2 months as their technology/computer docent, just helping people out with technology, whether it's in the library or if they bring out something to me, helping out with both software and hardware. Some of the most delightful conversations I've ever had was through that way. I've also asked Omar about this, Clayton, a couple months ago when the book got solicited. I will be doing an overview of those compacts, and when I go to my university, like during that time or whatever for finals, I will be giving that compact box set to my university library so other people can enjoy the love of comics. So we are going to make sure that happens.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, one of the best things about the compact editions is that, it turns out that a lot of young people don't have a lot of money. And, it's either cheap for you to gift to them or cheap for them to go out and get themselves. Yeah.
Which is why I'll never disparage DC for expanding out their compact library.
Just bought one this Wednesday.
No. Hey,
nice.
No, but I'm ancient enough to remember like those little digest books that like Marvel did or whatever. I remember, I think probably the first time I read Giant Size X-Men, it was in one of these little digest books, and like it was so small they had to reprint it panel by panel, which is a little disorientating because you're not reading the full page. And it had Giant Size X-Men 1 and it had X-Men 117, which is sort of part of Xavier's backstory. But yeah, it was panel by panel. So, but whatever you got to do.
Indeed. Jim Bros asked that they want to get into more Geoff Johns stuff. Only read Doomsday Clock. Any recommendations? I'm interested in Geiger. Would you say it's a
Geiger's cool?
Oh, yeah.
Junkyard Joe's cool.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of the Ghost, he's writing like everything out of Ghost Machine, right? Pretty much.
4 out of 6, right?
Exodus is really good.
Rook's when it's on stands. These delays are killing me for Rook Exodus.
I just have the collected edition, but I heard great things about Redcoat too. That's coming out this month, collected.
Oh, it's coming out on the 6th of May.
Next month will be.
Did it get slightly okay? So remember, I think that was one of your picks, Dom, for our video.
It was, and now it's gonna have. Well, actually, we don't know yet. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. If
on the next,
For DC stuff, Green Lantern, Justice Society of America. I really, really like his Superman. If you're a Teen Titans fan, there's a compendium that's coming out later this month that will have more comprehensively collected. They're adding the Return of Donna Troy in it as well.
The Flash.
I freaking love his Flash, his take on Captain Cold and Mirror Master and Abracadabra, the Pied Piper, any rogue that he writes, honestly. Yes, I would recommend all of those.
Yeah, I personally think he's never been better than JSA. I mean, that is the one that I think really is his magnum opus.
And not his second volume, probably.
Yeah. Some people really like his Green Lantern run. Some people really like his Flash run. I think those are more uneven. I mean, you can't fault him that he completely redefined the Green Lantern universe. So I mean, he gets
DC's #1 bestseller for 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. There are some definite highs in there. Sinestro Corps War. There's some other lows, and I struggle sometimes with how he writes. I think he doesn't. I think he does. He's doing this great job of writing all the Green Lanterns and all the mythology and all the universe and the whole spectrum thing and so on, but he doesn't quite know how to play Hal, because like, is Hal a dick? Is Hal not a dick? I mean, he kind of winds up in this weird middle that like he's sort of dickish but not too dickish. I don't know. I've always struggled a bit there, but
Aquaman,
but it is a grand undertaking. It's a grand undertaking.
Lars, to your earlier point, have you read the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern stuff by chance?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, I was wondering how that, because that's my only kind of real touch point for a Green Lantern series. I was picking that up when it started, and I was just curious how that characterization of Hal maybe compares to Johns, and if you like kind of prefer one or the other.
I'm not
sure from that run.
Well, like, although this gets us into bluntly, because Johns is responsible for being the driving force to bring back Hal and Barry. And a definite part of me wishes he hadn't bothered. It's not that I don't like Hal. It's not that I don't like Hal and Barry. It's just that you can struggle to know what to do with them. Well, and frankly, like, on the Flash side, it's no contest. I prefer Wally West.
Wally's the GOAT.
Absolutely prefer Wally West.
Yeah.
And I think that, but I feel like the reason he was bringing Barry back was because it just felt like the default mode for Flash is that it needs to be Barry Allen. It's that's like, how much story potential really is there? I ask myself. And also, Barry for me is kind of a Boy Scout compared to Wally. Wally
start taking over Wally's personality, start stealing traits from that whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, someone's saying no love for Jay Garrick. Oh no, I love Jay Garrick. Actually, really, Jay Garrick's probably my favorite. But in terms of a modern Flash, it definitely, because Wally's in the Justice League cartoon. And you're like, would this be better if Barry was in it? No, not at all.
That was my first experience with Wally. That's how I knew he was the GOAT.
Yeah. So when Geoff Johns is getting, in good with DC, eventually he reaches the point, it's like, okay, we're bringing back Hal and Barry. And it's like, oh, are we really? And that
means that Lars sponsors the first 2 omnibuses of Johns' Flash run and on the 3rd.
Absolutely right. Again, don't get me wrong. I like them. Mark Waid did that. Hal and Barry.
I really love the return of Barry Allen. That's
but all this insistence on bringing back Hal Jordan, and like I don't know that he knew what to do with Hal Jordan. It's like you're kind of proving my point. And on the Green Lantern side, I prefer Guy Gardner. but I understand Guy should not be the lead of the main title. I mean, don't get me wrong. But
Kody,
John Stewart, that's my guy.
Kody, I've heard from several people that they love Jeremy Adams on anything, and that they especially love him on Green Lantern and Flash.
There you go. Gotcha.
Had a chance to read them yet, but I think you're safe going in and reading anything Jeremy Adams.
Yeah, his Flash was really good.
I like it.
Man.
Yeah. And by the way, just to demonstrate how, I think with generational turnover, how the public, it's not an automatic given that like Green Lantern is Hal Jordan and the Flash is Barry Allen and so on. I remember, let's see now, what was it? When they went to do the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Uh-oh.
And I was sitting in movie theaters, and because by that point, they've been using Jon Stewart in the cartoon and so on. And so twice on separate occasions in movie theaters, that trailer for the Ryan Reynolds movie came up, and someone behind me said, "What's up with that? Isn't Green Lantern a black guy?" I mean, they were. You plug in Hal Jordan, they were genuinely confused. And frankly, I also find Jon Stewart.
They have people who watched only JLU.
You bet.
Their only version of Green Lantern has been Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
You go in and you're like, wait, it's a different guy.
It's a dominating presence too. I was like, oh, this is Green Lantern growing up. I was like, Hal Jordan, who's that? Yeah.
My dad had a similar reaction when he watched the Superman film, and he asked me.
Wait, the new one?
Yeah, the Superman 2025, because he was used to
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on a minute. Why does this guy have a really ugly haircut? He didn't know who Guy Gardner was.
Yeah, why does Hal have an ugly haircut?
Well, I think the mass public just kind of forgets about this sort of thing. I remember when it was announced that Alan Scott was gay, and you'd hear I'd go to like extended family gatherings and things like that, and because I'm the comic book nerd, people would like, wait, Green Lantern's gay? I'm like, the original Green Lantern is gay. but of course they have like no concept of what I'm saying now about
Right.
the original Green Lantern versus da 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 da. So yeah, the public gets collective amnesia about the sort of thing very quickly.
That's a good question.
Thank you for the super chat, Jarn. Did you guys bring any omnis to the wine bar recently? We'll start off with Kody.
I feel like that's
Not
directly
me,
because
but-
I got the reputation for someone who goes and enjoys a nice Pinot Noir while I was.
Jess,
Was it an Omni though? Like I remember you telling that story. Was it an Omni? I can't remember.
I mean, a smaller one. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the Squirrel Girl Omnibus just because that's
Immortal Hulk.
a pretty enormous
Oh,
puppy to haul
man.
in there. I mean, although this friend of mine has a art satchel that I borrow for conventions, I feel like I almost have to borrow her art satchel to really get that omnibus in there and haul it in there. No, I'll take it in the smaller ones, like maybe 700, 800, 900 pages, because those are just a big book.
No,
Do a
Lars,
compact.
this is
Bring
a
a
perfect
compact to the
conversation
bar.
starter. You bring an Avengers versus X-Men omnibus to a bar, and you show it to somebody, and you're like, "Hey, did you know that the first names of the people who made up the Phoenix Five spell Penis?"
Wow.
And then they will immediately say to you, "Who the hell are the Phoenix Five?" and go away, you weirdo.
Maybe not in that order. Maybe in reverse. Maybe
Maybe
tell you to go away
reverse
first.
order.
But
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Conversation starter. I
All
like
right.
It's a good
Kody.
conversation starter.
Cody, have you taken any omnis to the wine bar to enjoy with a nice rosé or
Ooh,
Blanc?
rose.
Not me, but I was saying, recently I read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow on a car ride. I read the whole thing on a little
Okay.
car trip. I did Batman Court of Owls compact on a train ride probably about 3 weeks ago. These compacts are crazy, guys. If you can read them, if you're not like, I don't know, too blind or whatever. I get comments all the time saying like the art's so hard to see. I don't know. Hold it close to your face, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm enjoying these on the train, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
it's like in Red Dwarf when they go, "My eyes don't have a zoom. What's going on?"
So,
it's like, no.
what do you guys think?
I
I mean, like
don't.
all these small panels. To me, I can see.
I can
it's
see
clear.
these.
It's legible.
These are
It's not the
perfectly fine.
easiest read
Right.
in the world, right? But it's totally doable.
I guess I'm very fortunate that cataracts don't run in my family, and my family just has pretty good eyesight, really. So
Yeah. Some of these 12 panel pages, a little small, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But anyway, Jess, any omnis you have taken to the wine bar?
I have not had a drink almost 18 years
Okay.
next
Okay.
month. So I
There
haven't
you
been to
go.
any wine bars. Apologies.
Any omnis you've taken to the boba joint?
I usually pick
Froyo.
I usually will pick something like a lighter trade paperback or an OHC if I go to a restaurant or something, or I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really take part in that. Well, I mean, yeah, I trade paperback.
Are you
Oversized. hard-
California sober or like?
No, I'm the real.
California sober.
That's a thing, and that is not.
It's
sober.
100% a
That
thing.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I'm the real sober.
Okay.
I,
Dom, and wait, tell the joke. Don't tell the joke. Tell the joke. Don't. Dom, are you old enough to get into a wine bar?
I am, but I don't drink.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
I
Good.
don't.
Good.
When I turned 21, I had at least 30 people offer me to go out for a drink, and
Sure.
I told them no
Sure.
every single time.
Perfectly respectable.
Well, here's the thing. When I talk to people, when I say stupid stuff, which I do a lot sometimes, I want people to know that I'm saying that stupid stuff, and it's not coming from alcohol. It's not coming from
yes.
the woodsy.
Okay.
It's not coming from, hey, you got hit by, like, whatever I said that's stupid is coming from me. So I take all responsibility and accountability for it. I want to be, as dumb as it might sound, as authentic as possible. Doesn't mean that I can't hang out at a bar. It's just that I'll probably ask for a lemonade or something non-alcoholic. I'm the only person. I'll just say I'm going to be the only person ever drinking in a bar to drink apple juice. And not
That's
saying-
You had
Well,
friends that wanted to take you out. That's awesome.
and I went through a phase where there was a social gathering at this bar, and like the thing, so like I do like wine casually in moderation, but it makes me sleepy. And if I'm out on the town, I don't really want to be sleepy. So I was the only guy who would go to the bar for this social event, and I would drink pineapple juice because the bartender they would have cans of pineapple juice, and he would give me a can of pineapple juice. So that's okay. I know we're here to talk comics. The older I get, because I know a lot of people, I'm pretty social. The more I encounter people that like they overdo the alcohol and it transforms them and it's causing big problems. And there's a lot of discussions that are many to be had about this. And I tell the people I know, I'm like, I hope that I have never, as you say, Kody, or no, Dom, as you say, transformed into someone who it was the alcohol talking. And I thankfully have been told never. Yeah. Never has that happened. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Because I'll have like a glass with a meal or something like that. I mean, or if I go, if I go out with my comics to the wine bar, I'll have like one glass and that's it.
Right. But yeah. Right. Which actually kind of leads me into this question by like I have had many sleepless nights of either reading stuff or after finishing out homework. I'm like, man, I gotta go read the material in a DC Finest or Omnibus or whatnot. I have actually, since in the last 2 years, I've taken out a good portion of my social life, going out with buddies of mine, hanging out with the regular folks in my parents and wider, I guess, town community to read comics and whatnot and all this stuff. The only times that I only have gone out are for playing basketball, working out. That's pretty much it. I have I seldom hang out with people that I know in my sphere nowadays. And it's nothing against that portion of me. It's just that, I love you guys and I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can. I'm still learning a lot, even 2 years on the grind, but it's for you guys. And I want to make sure that everybody here is alive, well, and happy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Puddin' Tame, thank you for the super chat. Any other Gold and Silver Age fans suffering from post-Omnibus poll depression?
I didn't notice too hard.
Well, Marvel poll?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So, I mean, they're making some progress on that front because they're doing more Batman Silver Age. They're doing more Superman Silver Age. And the thing is, like, isn't that somewhat indicative? Like, Marvel has collected almost for a lot of the Silver Age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly what depression you're speaking to, but I wonder how much of that is indicative of the fact that certainly on the Marvel side, so much of it has been paved over, which is good. But it's eliminated from the poll. I suppose on the DC side, there is quite a lot more. But again, even then, they all of Legion and the Silver Age has been collected, Doom Patrol, that sort of thing. Yeah, they're making progress on it. So I don't know, Just what do you think?
This is regarding Marvel?
Oh, just overall.
It doesn't say overall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the first thing, I feel like the initial run of the Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman Golden Age books, I don't get the feeling they sold that well because they ended up remaindered a lot. And now Marvel's Golden Age is, Captain America fights the Red Skull, who's Hitler's guy. And I don't, which is great for me. I remember loving Captain America as a reprint growing up, but I just am not sure that those things really sell well in a general sense. I love them, but it's just me and Puddin' Tame right now that really love them. So I think it's going to depend on whether or not they can find some kind of format, maybe where it's better to release them as, I don't know, compendiums or something, maybe try a little bit of test run. If they do that, I think that's what I feel like has happened.
I feel like it's a big commitment, the price for a lot of people to take a bite of that Golden Age stuff. I'm finding like just saying, the like DC Finest to be the way I want to collect that kind of older material.
Okay. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah.
And I made it, well, I didn't make it clear. Timely became Marvel, and Timely is the one that did like the World War II and 1950s comics and stuff, and then it became Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to. I haven't properly looked at the numbers as to how much of the Golden Age and Silver Age remains, because I say it's worse on the DC side, and yet they've basically done all of Green Lantern, they've done Flash, they've done Justice League. It's really Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman that it feels like they're playing catch up. And then if you were to marry the Omnibus releases against the DC archives, because some stuff got released there, how much remains, I wonder? I mean, there's obviously something. I mean, like, because even like, I remember like that Dr. Fate archive, when you realize, oh, that is in fact all the material. Dr. Fate didn't have a huge publishing history in that era. So, yeah. I mean, we should maybe get Peter or whomever to crunch the numbers on how much Gold and Silver Age stuff remains.
I love those archives. I really
kind of love them too. I understand the reason why they were discontinued, but because again, they cost a freaking fortune. Although it all costs a freaking fortune. But no, I much preferred them to the omnibuses, frankly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Glad to see you all. I hope we're doing well, Matt. My heart's still out to you, my friend.
Yeah,
he's in love, Matt.
He's in love.
Yeah.
All right. Comic-related question. For the best JLA reading experience, how's reading the Grant Morrison Omnibus? Does it reference stuff in the upcoming Wade Omnibus? Would I have to go back and forth or stick with the thick trades? I'm actually going to go around the round table. Kody.
No, I read probably maybe like the first 3 volumes of Grant Morrison's JLA, I think. Not in omnibus form. I have the, I guess you would say the thick trades. The ones where the spines line up. Those are pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then Wade's no, I've not read Wade's Justice League material, so
except for the Unlimited. But that's Unlimited.
God, you're right. The current stuff. There you go. Right. Is that what this question is kind of asking?
No.
There's a Wade run in between.
I don't think there's huge amounts of pre-knowledge on either side needed for those. I think you can read the Wade Omnibus without being. It should be pretty easy to consume.
Yeah. And it kicks off with JLA Year One, or Wade's Omnibus does, which is a look at the Justice League starting in a brand new context without the Trinity alongside it, because you have a new version of Black Canary, you got Martian Manhunter, you have all these different characters who are starting from the ground up with a brand new JLA co-written by Brian Augustine. You would, unfortunately, because of the way that they went back and forth, because Wade took time on JLA because Grant Morrison was not running out of ideas, but a little bit being burnt out on the book. So they switched books. So you had Grant writing Flash, and then you had Mark writing JLA. It will have orphaned issues. I believe there are Mark Millar issues right after Wade gets, I want to say like issues 27 through 29 or somewhere around that spot, where Mark Millar does take over for a little bit of the book that aren't collected in the omnibus. But as far as all that is concerned, if you want the full uninterrupted reading experience, I would go with the JLA books, the ones that are just called JLA Book 1, JLA Book 2, etc. But if you just want whatever the creator did in the larger format, I would go with the creator-owned or /centric on these.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm getting from this question that you haven't read the Grant Morrison material, so don't go straight to the omnibus. I think, as Kody and Dom are saying, those thicker kind of book, I think they were done in hardcover, and then they released in softcover.
Softcover, and then they rebranded them as
How easy those are getting a hold of, I don't know. I mean, is Kindle an option? Try it out, but sample it first. I have to see. I know that I'm going to get pelted with eggs when I say this. I have basically read every comic Grant Morrison has ever written. I mean, I am always up for that sort of thing. Grant Morrison, even when they're not overly successful, they're always interesting. The JLA run is the one thing that doesn't really do it for me. It always kind of leaves me cold. Partly that is because I don't like Howard Mackey's art. at that phase.
I mean, Howard Porter's art.
Oh, no, sorry. Howard Mackey. I'm sorry. I'm going on those three. Howard Porter. At that phase in their career, I like Howard Porter's. I like Howard Porter's art later. Weirdly, Howard Porter did Scooby-Doo Apocalypse, Scooby Apocalypse, and that was actually quite good. I actually enjoyed that. So, but the Morrison JLA run, I don't know. It just kind of wears me out a little bit. So, you may or may not feel the same, but yeah, sample it first, get one of the smaller ones, or try it out on Kindle.
Hey, Bar, welcome. I haven't read either run, so I think all your guys' opinions are valid. I question whether or not Lars understood most of the filth. Did you really understand? And wait,
absolutely not. Oh God! Did I understand it? No. Jess, no reader ever has understood the filth. It's just the question of whether you like it or not.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
The Filth Deluxe Edition down there. I've not read it. So.
Oh God! I mean, some of
that's the most Morrisonian Morrison you will ever read.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
that's saying something too. So
I challenge anybody to read Invisibles and actually understand every page of it. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be Brainiac 5 levels of intellect to do that sort of thing. Even though I love it, I have the hardcovers and I love Invisibles quite a lot. No, didn't understand it.
How about Zenith? Did you understand that?
More.
Get back to me at 5.
Well, because I made the joke previously that reading Grant Morrison is like watching a Tom Stoppard play. You feel like you are maybe understanding 70% of it. Which is fine, and that's not to complain at all. Because again, like I own a lot of Grant Morrison. I found rereading Grant Morrison very enjoyable. I've deemed it enough to pay money for it and have it in my collection. I don't own the JLA one. That's the one that doesn't really.
Okay.
And neither do I own the Filth. I think I got the Filth collection at the library, and read that. And as you say, you're kind of like, what? But yeah.
Hamza, they're working on it. Just got to wait for a little bit longer. The hope is that. How do I word it? They're doing really cool stuff. They're really
well.
Really
Again, there's a lot of Legion that's unpaved. We need the Paul Levitz's main run collected first, because the Bronze Age.
How about the same time, Lars? Why can't it be the same time?
If they can juggle both, that's fine. But if given a choice, there's tons of Paul Levitz stuff that has never been collected, whereas most of the Bronze Age has been collected. It's just out of print and hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Question for Lars and Jess: if Marvel fans were called Marvel Zombies, or DC fans called, because I'm turning into that. Oh.
DC Wonder Girls.
This is a legit question for me, because growing up in the 60s and 70s, that you would hear about Marvel Zombies, but I don't, if I recall correctly, I don't think there were that many DC equivalents. If you're a Marvel Zombie back then, you were buying every title Marvel put out. And you just like a zombie, you would just buy everything they put out. I don't think that was true for DC. I only read DC really back then, and Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and stuff, but I didn't collect them like I collected DC stuff. I don't, Logan, I just don't remember. Maybe it's time for us to come up with a name for us, because DC's on a real roll right now. So let's have a contest where Omar
deceased. Maybe
I mean,
steal
what
the name.
I like that.
Equivalents.
Deceased.
DC
we're
Grundys.
the deceased.
DC Grundys after Solomon Grundy.
But what if they weren't born on a Monday, Lars?
That's true. That's true. That's true. I don't think I was born on a Monday. So the kind of stereotype used to be that you would start out life as a Marvel, as a budding young comic book fan. You start out life as a Marvel fan, and that you died as a DC fan. that you got into Marvel and you were a Marvel zombie, and Marvel's like great and exciting, and a lot of heat and intensity and all this stuff, and it's kind of badass sometimes. And that DC was the more somewhat calmer, more intellectual companion, and that you learn to appreciate later in life. Now, I've done this wrong. I've actually been more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan from the start. My DNA is more DC than Marvel. Not that I don't consume and appreciate vast droves of Marvel. But if forced to pick, I am personally more in sync with DC than with Marvel.
Yeah.
I wonder, Dom, if you could, I could Google it or something, but I think it'd be more interesting if you found out how many titles monthly Marvel and DC published, like in 1968, and maybe it's 7 or 10, and then compare it to now, where it's like 50 from each. I think that would be interesting.
I think a lot of the numbers on that are available on Comicron.com, which is John.
If you did like 50 years, if you kept it at like a 50-year kind of comparison, it'd be interesting.
John Jackson Miller's site does a lot of the number crunching on that. That'd be Comicron.
I'm gonna add that to
John Jackson Miller's website.
I'm gonna add that to the research.
He's done a good amount of the number crunching on that. Now, frankly, that sort of number crunching, just titles being published, a lot of the number crunching on sales became devastatingly hard when we lost Diamond, because Diamond was so central to everything, and they would release their sales figures, and so we would so much better know like what a title was selling. I mean, you always had to take that number, add 10% for the UK market. You had to adjust it a bit, but by and large, we knew. Now, the business of knowing comic book sales figures or ratings, as we might call them, excruciatingly hard.
It's not complete, and like Lars is saying, it's like one source that I use, because there's a segment I do on my channel where it's best selling single issues. Not even like for speculation, all that shit. I don't deal with that on the channel. Mostly just like, what are people into? What are people reading? And to Lars's point, I use ICV2 as a source, and they're pretty good. But they're far from complete. Like their point of sales from stores, I think, that like opt in. So I don't know my shop's on there necessarily.
Well,
right? So it's definitely not.
You'd also have to
nationwide or whatever.
You also have to look at how big the sample size is, because
exactly. I think it's like 1,500 shops like max on ICV2,
which is okay. Well, was that high? That's still quite a lot. But
right,
it's gotten a lot harder.
That was just a. I wish there was a, because I find that stuff interesting. I don't know if other people do, but just what are people? Because I've seen the. As I've been covering it, you see the switch of maybe Marvel taking up most of the list, but then you see DC kind of climbing up. So it's been really interesting to track, especially recently, all the absolute titles.
Oh, since all in,
a lot of their
it's been no
reprints are getting on the list too, and stuff like that. So it is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I find that stuff way more interesting than like sales. I'd like to know I know they base it on sales, but I'd like to see like what you're talking about. Just where they are in popularity, and like the top 10,
right? Because there's other sources I kind of use. Like there's that app League of Comic Geeks. They show every week. You can sort things by what's most pulled. But then again, what's
that
the sample
site I found to
size?
be more DC leaning, because a lot of people who read DC also use that site. So it's a small bias sample.
It's for sure leans DC, which
I understand.
They also do graphic novel sales too, which is something else I cover on the channel.
Do they rank those too?
And again, Comicron, thanks to the diamond numbers, was also tracking graphic novels and hardcovers and whatever, and was extraordinarily useful until the current era we find ourselves in.
Data. Oh, okay. So Lars, my number was way off. I think just from the top 20 graphic novels, ICV2 from March 2026, at the top they say during the period for which these reports are generated, there are over 125 stores using the Comic Hub system.
Okay, I thought it was a lot
This
lower
is a
than
small,
that.
non-random sample of
See,
over
and that's-
3,000 stores. So I don't know.
Yeah, and small sample sizes will always warp the results. All
120. I don't even know what that means though. 125 stores, as this is small, non-random sample of over 3,000 stores.
A
I don't know
random
what that
sample?
means.
I don't know.
Comic Hub used to be such an easy site to search for books for. It's almost unusable now.
I'll post it in the private chat,
yeah.
Lars, if you can parse what the heck that even means. But that's the.
I can try.
You can try.
During
I want to
the
get through a question real quick as you guys parse that out.
Okay. Well, no, it says non-random sample.
Okay, so they don't use the 125 because that's too small. Okay. Is that this? Is that what I'm guessing?
No, what they're saying is. No, what they're saying is, it's as you say, it's an opt-in. They somehow apparently they convinced 125 stores to use this system, but it was self-selecting. It was stores that put up their hands to do it.
Yep.
So it's not a random sample, and so you've got because it seems like we still have about 3,000 comic book stores ish. I mean, it fluctuates. So
okay. You're making yes.
You got 100. So that's about 5%.
Right. So
that's not even 5% of the market. So
yeah.
Again, and as what small sample sizes will warp things out of shape. I mean, but this is the best we can do now. This is the best we can figure out.
125, of 3,000. That's like nothing, Lars.
John Jackson Miller used to provide some wonderful analysis, but he's been so data starved that it's become a real problem.
You wish DC and Marvel would just put them out there, but I guess.
Well, you can see why they. Here's the thing: traditionally, it's not done. Traditionally, publishers just don't release their numbers en masse because, if nothing else, it requires you to acknowledge how many of your titles suck.
And are not selling. Then the audience would be picking. Oh, it's because this writer, they get a lot of haters.
I mean, it's simply not done. We just had the fortunate happenstance that Diamond was central at everything, and Diamond would give us the numbers. But I mean, observe also how the streaming services don't release their numbers. They only release their numbers if they've had a big success and they want you to know it. But other than that, they just keep quiet about it because that's normal, actually.
Do you think DC will go for an Impulse Compendium before doing the Omnibus? I remember asking Mark this question when I first interviewed him so many years ago.
Yep.
And he told me about the restoration issues that were on Impulse because some of those pages, he told me that he could go himself and go to his own printer, scale them up in resolution, but that would take such a long time. And obviously we did have an Impulse Omnibus in previews, and then it got pulled because they don't have the resources to do it.
Yeah, the files simply do not support an omnibus format. Now they could again, restore them to that level, but that would be quite expensive. Yeah. I assume they could do a compendium.
They do it. They definitely could.
Okay.
The question is, are you willing to pay? And this is just me pulling. I'm not confirming anything. I'm just pulling out of my butt. Are you willing to pay $150 for the adventures of the earliest adventures of Bart Allen in oversized format? That is the question I would like to present to because $60 that is a lot easier on the wallet. It's easier to comprehend. I know that it's not oversized, but at least it's out there. But $150 for one of the main 4 members of the Young Justice 4 in their earliest, that is a completely different story.
Well, and also there's a lot of the Flash catalog that needs, attention and resources and so on. I would assume that's also a problem, is that when and where they have to spend, they're having to spend money on Flash and, prioritizing Impulse, and that might be a challenge, but yeah.
Let's see. Is Joker War Saga hardcover oversized or standard? That is a standard size hardcover.
Standard. And you need it, Sooty Mike, if you want to enjoy the first omnibus of Tinian's. It helps to have that. Yeah. James is looking for my video for it right now. I'm sure he's already posted.
Indeed. Big shout out to I really do wish that they still kept the Joker War stuff in to that first omnibus. The entirety of it all.
Yeah, I agree.
I started reading New Gods Volume 1 by Rom V. What does everyone else think? I'm enjoying
So
it.
sick, dude. The
I
Evan
love it.
Cagle artwork, man, I
Mm.
was so happy when they teamed up again because they did a Dark Horse comic series called Dawn Runner, which is about mechs versus kaiju, very Pacific Rim kind of inspired. And Ron V and Evan Cagle killed it on that. So when they were coming on over to DC to plug in and do a New Gods series, it was my first ever New Gods series. I ended up loving it. I didn't find it very hard to read as my first New Gods series either. I thought Ron V did a good job of, if you know like Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, Orion, I feel like you're pretty pretty well acclimated to.
And you know that
reading it.
Darkseid
I thought it
isn't
was so
part of
good.
the sort of bigger overall picture anymore because of what happens with him. And
It's a new villain. Yeah, it's a new villain coming in, the Chitauri, something like that.
Yeah.
And they've been wrecking New Gods, and you get some really cool splash pages, really cool page turns.
Yeah.
Got really cool Evan Cagle artwork.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Booster, I would say, like, if you have those, I mean, I gave away my JLA here.
Yeah, I mean, and you maybe don't, and we discussed in the show, like, I'm the same as you. And you should also get that, whatever it was called, Wade's Flash and Green Lantern.
Brave and the Bold.
Oh, Brave and the Bold, that's what it was called. Yeah. The miniseries that deals with Hal and Barry's friendship. That is actually worth having. But if you have Year One, you have Tower of Babel, you have
right.
Flash and Green Lantern. I mean, well,
at that point, you're just collecting a whole bunch of other Brian Hitch on it, and I love Brian Hitch, but
and then there's other stuff that Mark has written, which is perfectly enjoyable. But do you need to spend $100, at discount to get it? Possibly not.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. I'm in for a $150 impulse on me, but I'm a big Flash fan, and I am insane. And speaking of, Lars, if you may, if you live in Europe and somehow you want to get a Flash by Mark Waid Omnibus Volume 3, where can they get that?
Okay, let's assume that I have moved back to the homeland and I am in Norway. All right. So if you live in Europe and you are interested in buying and pre-ordering Omnis, you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the U-flat shipping rate of €12 for all countries. They offer bulletproof packaging. Now, have they actually stopped and discharged firearms into these packages, I wonder? All emails will be answered within 24 hours. They also offer a superb selection of new titles and books. Oh, sorry, out-of-print books.
Books.
Books. They have many books. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And exclusively for our viewers, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION. It's really difficult to remember, okay? Because it has no spaces. Near mint condition at checkout. You will get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That is Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding.
Is that how she sings it?
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a half a key lower, but it works.
Very nice.
I'm the age I am. I'm doing the best I can. You lose range as you get older. That's why Frank can't do Miss Piggy anymore.
Oh, is that right?
It is true. Yeah. He simply, it's impossible for him to hit those high octaves. It is sad. Yeah.
Any chance Marvel reprint X Judgment Day, but with a chronological reading order to better fit with the Dawn of X omnibuses? I would anticipate that when they do get to the Destiny of X omnibus line, that they will include X Judgment Day 1 through 6, and specifically only the mutant part or whatever portions of it. So the Wolverine tie-ins, the X-Men tie-ins, the X-Force tie-in, the Omega Day, the Omega issue. If it has something to do with the X-Men, they'll include it. I'm sure that when they get to it, they will map it out accordingly. They have, like Omar said, they have the reading order all somewhere in the deep files. They just need to make sure that it's placed and printed out. But that, honestly, I probably shouldn't mention it. But yeah, people have been buying Dawn of X 1 and 2, as seen by the flurry of people flocking for 2. So they are selling well. They are doing well. Let me see. Oh, Lars, you got to do the chat.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. This was all off the cuff. So yes, I will get that next time.
It works.
Yeah.
Didn't Rom say recently he's doing more New Gods?
So he wrote in his newsletter after New Gods wrapped up. He said that he has ideas for more New Gods stuff, but it does sound like Rom and Evan Cagle are going to be doing they have a new project coming up with some European publisher, and then Image Comics is going to be doing the English, the English prints here over the States. So it sounds like they'll be busy doing that. So if Romby ever comes back to New Gods in the near future, unfortunately, it might be with a different artist. But yeah, Romby's got a cool thing going. Him and a bunch of his buddies are just teaming up for a new series of European published comics. I forget which the publisher is. I forget. I don't know. But Image is doing the English printing over here, so that'll be cool when those eventually coming out.
Yeah, I think I can also mention, because DC gave us this in a statement yesterday via email, that this is not related to New Gods at all, but his Detective Comics Omnibus that is upcoming, they are working closely with him to make sure that the Omnibus is mapped out, or not even mapped out, that it's designed, enhanced in the perfect, quote, Rom V vision.
Yes, dude. That's gonna be such a sick Omni. Like, people don't even know. If you guys missed that whole era of Detective Comics, it was so sick, dude. You got a lot of cool artists cycling in. You got the beautiful covers from Evan Cagle. That is something that sticks out. And I remember
the cover that they used for the Omni. Oh my gosh, man, that was a cover.
Wait, you've seen it? Dom's already seen it?
Yeah.
Is this announced? Is it already announced?
Yeah. But I put in my suggestion to them because that they should use the issue. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the cover so people don't just
pull it up, Dom. We're having fun here,
we are having fun. I'm gonna.
Ron V is he's that guy though. He's quickly becoming that guy for me. Him and Dan Waters, I feel like, are just killing it.
Yeah. Let me see.
I think now that I mentioned, I think Dan Waters is joining Ron V for whatever this European publishing thing is. I think Dan Waters is part of that group.
He's part of the he's one of his best friends. Okay, so I suggested that this cover should somehow be used for the back design of the Omni.
That's cool. That's a good one.
This is 1075, and then I said I thought it would be really cool for them to use this as part of the spine design somehow. Like, just imagine somewhere in the middle of the negative space or whatnot, maybe even the top, Detective Comics by Ron V on the sideline.
This is where Batman's going through his whole desert journey or whatever, right, Dom? So sick, guys. I'm telling you, this thing's gonna be such a fun read.
Yes. Yeah. You're endorsing a blind buy, right, Kody? You're
worth a blind buy.
Yes.
I think so, actually.
Yes.
You will be. I guess, is it all going to be in one volume, Dom, or split up in two? Probably all one. Okay.
So the way that they're wrapping out the Omni is that, so you know how we had in the single issues, we had the main story first and then the backup.
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing it exactly. All
the backups are cool too, from what I remember. Cy
Spurrier, Dan, all of Ron V's friends are doing backups, so it's gonna be cool.
It's cool. That's cool, man.
Let me see if I can get to a question that I saw. Man, here we go. From Alter. Do you guys read non-Marvel and non-DC comics? And if so, what is your favorite title if you do?
Sometimes sometimes non-DC and non-Marvel stuff ends up being heads and shoulders above some of the Cape stuff y'all be reading, by the way. So if you guys only read Cape stuff, man, you guys are missing out on a whole... Yeah.
Well, true, but a lot of the indie stuff is not as good as the Cape stuff as well.
That's fair. That's
okay.
Fair.
I know my answer. Jess, what's your Marvel and DC poison?
I'm going into the. It's going to take me a minute.
Is this the even more secretive vault?
I did not turn on the lights. A European book that made my top 12 for last year was The Old Geezers. It was an excellent book, and I love The Old Geezers. It's about 3 quite old government worker pensioners, and they're conspiring to do something that obviously will make them feel younger, but will also contribute to their particular society. And I just thought it was well drawn, and that was a recommendation from my friend Tony from Sweden. He's from Sweden, so all he does really is read
Shout out
European
to Sweden.
comics.
Swedish fish too. Romvi's run is after Tamaki's, and if you wanted to sample it, I would suggest picking up the Gotham Nocturne Prelude, which is Detective Comics Volume 1 that collects issues 1062 through 1065.
I can also praise a very independent book, Tedward, that was given to me by Cycle Cleveland, who might still be in the chat. That's the most understandable, most continuity flow of these super indies that I could follow. It was really interesting and really nice. I really enjoyed it.
I also want to add, surrounding, I'm not suggesting wraparound covers. I'm just saying that for specific artwork pieces, if they need it on the spine or on the back of the book, that they use that. I did not suggest wraparound covers at all. The one that they are going to use is the one that's already been placed on Edelweiss, which is issue 1073 of Detective Comics.
In terms of indie stuff, can't go wrong with some Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. I'm reading Fade Out right now.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
It's a good one. Fatale is probably my favorite from the duo, maybe.
Really good.
I like Incognito.
That's really good. Yeah.
Oh man, Jack Ferry.
Okay, here are some of the non-Marvel, non-DC titles. Probably the one that immediately springs to mind is Wicked and the Divine. From Image.
There you go. Some Kieran Gillen, right?
Yep, Kieran
Gillen.
Jamie
McKelvey.
Yep. I mean, superb. That's one that these are some of the books I loan out to people who aren't prone to reading comics, because if I'm going to try to lure them in, I don't necessarily give them Batman. So that's pretty great. I do like Chew.
John Layman and Rob Guillory.
Yep. That was bizarre. And then also Die. I'm reading that.
There you go.
The premise of that is basically, if you remember the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s, I mean, it's kind of written like, well, what happens next for them? You know, which is kind of
like an adult sort of Jumanji.
It is.
I love Die. And Die Loaded second volume coming back, still with Stephanie Hahn's artwork. Good stuff there.
I'm trying to let that bank, and I'm not doing a good job of it. I keep nipping in there to read it, and because I do really love it. Saga is genuinely quite great. And then, but really, if we're talking non-Marvel DC, I mean, the one that for me is Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. Jesus God. I mean, that is one of the very best comics ever made. And I feel like I'm forgetting something obvious. I mean, I like Powers. It's a bit of a problematic thing to like, but I do like Powers. And you know what? Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah,
that's a great show.
Scott Pilgrim. So the comic is genuinely is really pretty great as well.
I always think about East to West, but every time I bring it up on the channel, I feel like people be hating East to West. Crazy to me, but
I love East to West.
It's a bit harder to get into is the problem.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
There's some titles that just kind of you can just get in there almost immediately and kind of feel like, okay, there's surprises ahead, but I understand what this book is doing and what it's about. I am kind of one of those people. I borrowed East to West from the library, and like, you know, I think I'm no fool, but I was kind of like, okay, what is this about? What is going on here? The other one, as we mentioned, Grendel. I mean, it's by Matt Wagner. It's really unpleasant in parts, but it's really good. So
someone said Everything Dead and Dying. That's a good current modern zombie story that just came out in trade this past Wednesday.
Yeah. And I am one of those people who I love the Walking Dead comic. I cannot stand the TV show, but
that's
this is a European book, Black Water Lilies. I will show you art and just read you a sentence from the back. This was suggested to me by Elan from Wales. 3 women lived in Gaverny, the village in Normandy where Monet.
Gaverny.
How do you say it?
Gaverny.
Gaverny.
Swedish chef thing. The first was we're 3 women, blah blah blah. The first was wicked, the second a liar, and the third selfish. And it revolves around a murder, but the art is really, really nice, and the story is absolutely gorgeous, heartbreaking, and has I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it has something that will surprise you. So I if I said any more than that, it would spoil it. But I love Black Water Lilies by these guys.
Okay.
Magnetic Press.
Time to check them out.
Okay.
Indeed. Kody, would you say that Ram V is a better writer of Detective Comics than Mariko Tamaki?
I don't know if I say better writer or anything like that. But I would say that I vibe more with the Ram V stuff. It felt more like a front to back kind of continuous sort of thing. Mariko Tamaki, she had a hard ask from her, like from DC of her, was to do like that weekly thing, Shadows of the
Shadow Towers.
Yeah, and ended up being pretty decent. But I was like, man, weekly for a writer, I can't imagine how much of a tall task that kind of is. And yeah, so overall, I think I lean Ram V, but I didn't hate the Mariko Tamaki. That was my first Detective Comics as I was picking it up. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Is Authority Omnibus Volume 2 any good? Also, would DC release a deluxe version of Supergirl being super? Never say never to the Supergirl being super by Tamaki and Jones being put out in a deluxe format. I will say that.
I think I saw that on Wednesday. Is there a new collection of that came out recently?
Reprint.
Reprint of the trade paperback.
It's
for the
great.
movie.
Gotcha. It was a different squatter form. It was in their young adults size, so it was slightly taller than their compact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Indeed. I also want to go ahead. Sorry.
To answer, so I think Authority Omnibus 1, that would be the Hitch and then the Miller.
Yeah,
run.
Hitch and then Quietly, Arthur Adams.
And so it seems like Omnibus number 2 is kind of this slurry of everything else Authority that they ever published.
Did you mean Ellis for the Authority?
Well, yeah, Ellis and Hitch. Hitch drew it. But yes, Warren Ellis, Brian Hitch.
Mark Miller wrote the second part.
Yeah,
the second one. I personally think the Ellis Hitch stuff is superb. I actually don't like the Miller run. I am one of those people. And then everything after that, I've been kind of indifferent toward. There might actually be some good stuff in there. Again, I think Grant Morrison started an Authority miniseries and didn't finish it. And so I don't know. Everything after that, it may actually be kind of readable, but it feels like it's been going on in inertia.
I do have a story to add to this because I got a chance to interview John Layman not too long ago, and unbeknownst to many folks, he was the person who took over main edits on the Authority after Alice and Hitch left. So he was tasked with He was tasked with making sure that the run, or whoever came after it, was in close to spirit as the original.
Sure.
Ellis and Hitch for the first 12 issues. And what he found was two things. One, that editing Mark Millar is a really, really hard thing to do. Oh, yeah. And this was just coming off of him trying to make sure that he had enough of, a living space, because rent going up and the Wildstorm checks were not as large as he wished them out to be. So there was difficulties on that end. But the second thing he told me, that looking back on everything, was he said that he really wished that Wildstorm/DC gave him and his team more time to allow Quietly to draw, because he really, really wanted Frank Quietly to draw every single one of those issues.
Sure.
And that they were never ever given the leeway or runway to make all of that happen.
Sure. I mean, you have the problem that, like, the Ellis Hitch run is so definitive that, like, how do you follow up on that? I mean, Leland, I don't care for the Miller run. I sort of respect what he was trying to do, because, he was being Mark Miller. And I think trying to be an Ellis clone, there's really no point in that. So
he took real shortcuts that could have been made much better in his treatment of the women from the Authority.
Oh, certainly.
It
Oh,
was it
Yeah.
that did not need to go where it did for him to achieve what he wanted to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I own the Absolute Authority, which is the, again, Ellis Hitch run. I'm quite happy to pretend the Miller run doesn't exist. And then the rest of it, like I say, there may be some good stuff in there. I don't know. But nothing else, if you are into this sort of thing, I'm glad they did Volume 2. I'm glad they actually pulled it all together without a really central creator handling it, and just like, here it all is in one package for you. That's great. It may be good. I'm kind of indifferent toward it.
Indeed. And I gotta run. Awesome stream, guys. Hope you have a speedy recovery, Jess. I'll definitely see y'all in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Phenomenal. I appreciate that.
Real quick, what are we voting for? We don't know what's on the poll yet. That's publicly, anyways, for the DC Most Wanted Omnibus and Absolute reprints.
Yeah.
For DC.
I was given an advanced spreadsheet on the poll, and as you can expect, it's
a lot.
It's insane. It's a lot. You're gonna have a lot of choice because DC has a very long publishing history, and there's tons of it that's not been collected. So, yeah.
So okay. This is what you want reprinted. Okay, the DC reprint poll.
Oh, the reprint. Oh, sorry, I misread that. The reprint poll.
Yeah. Did you get a sheet on that?
I don't know.
I think you're attached on the email.
I think I did actually, but I did. Although I have to make the sordid confession that I did. I'm not sure I looked at that one.
Yeah, to wait for the polls to open.
DC reprint
That's what
poll,
I do. Yeah.
as someone says, Legion of Superheroes Volume 2 is the one that's going for fairly big money.
I'd
have to better look at the poll and see what is on the list.
Yeah.
They're doing Batwoman for me, no boot, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, Kody, I think Kody, I heard that was a placeholder cover. That it's gonna be the boot.
It might have boot.
This is a lie. Who told you that?
Boot.
That's all right. I'll be fine with boot.
Wait.
You'll love. You haven't read it?
I've read the Elegy, the compact. So I've not read the rest of what follows that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be. It's great.
Wait, who said that it was the boot?
Somebody that knows something about DC Comics, like they're attached to some guy that I trust.
Some guy on the street.
Some guy.
No,
Just
because Omar confirmed it with us as Dustin texted him that it's not going to be the boot cover for the reprint.
Oh, Dustin said that? Okay,
Dustin.
Kody, you're not getting the boot. I take it all back.
Boot, no boot. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Boot or no boot.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I would say what needs to be reprinted, and I will vote for these. Geoff Johns JSA. Those are out of print.
Are they? Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Flash.
No, the compendiums are coming out, but still. Yeah.
What am I, a peasant?
Compendiums.
Man,
A
come on.
peasant. That's a
We are of
choice
the
word.
aristocracy. We have to have our omnibuses and our fine cheese with the grassy flavor. Okay, go ahead.
I used to be hardcover or nothing, but yeah, I'm involved. You know.
Flash, Silver Age, all 3 volumes are out of print. That's important stuff, and it's actually very readable.
I agree.
Along with Green Lantern, Silver Age. They're reprinting 5 years later the first one, right? Okay, then I will pick volume 2 of Harley Quinn. They did me a solid. I already own it, but when I say they did me a solid, it's because that thing's been out of print for like 8 years, and Harley Quinn is supposed to be one of their big characters. I know Bar, if she's still in the chat, will agree with me that they haven't treated her that well. So I'm really happy that volume 2 can pair up. Rebirth Omnibus is still in print. That might be it for right now. For my DC Omnis that I would go for.
Clandestinely, I'm looking over the list now. I mean, again, it's a less psychologically tormenting list because, DC's catalog, DC's a bit playing catch up with Marvel, and there's less that's out of print. Mike Grell Green Arrow leaps out.
Yeah.
That one should probably be in print. The Harley Quinns,
those
as you
finest
say.
myself.
Harley Quinns,
I
definitely. Then there's all the Absolute volumes.
Are a lot of those out of print?
I mean,
Absolute, like Batman, like volume
oh,
one?
like that. Well, no, like the
or Absolute.
the bigger,
the slipcase format. The slipcase format.
I think that
Batman Black Mirror got mentioned.
Yeah,
that's true. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen seems to be out of print a bit.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you should absolutely vote even if you don't have any interest in it. You should always vote. You should always vote every chance.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen be released, not to like Volume 1 is still in print.
Is it? Okay, sorry. The Harley Quinn and the Green Arrow are the ones that leap out at me.
I'm with Kody on this question. There's very few polls that nerds can take part in, and this is one that
this one actually has an effect, right, Jess?
Yeah,
so it's
it gets shared with DC, and they pay attention.
Yeah, not to brashly toot our own horn, but it's like, if we're talking sample size, I can't think of an industry poll that is bigger than the one we do. So, this is the best data you're going to get. Also, the people who watch this channel are pretty hardcore. They're all due props to you. You're pretty determined. So,
you guys have,
I think if they want something, the follow through on that will be pretty strong.
And I mean, it was just amazing to get again, like DC emailed us about the New Titans Omnibus Volume 1 mapping because they were watching the stream or watching our stream last month, and they
were like, "Ooh, that's a problem."
Right. I said they made adjustments based on it, and they even added more contents that they realized could have been slotted in. So it's all doing credit to them for making sure that everything else is good to go. And one last question, and actually I have an answer to this as well, but this is geared towards Lars, so I'll let him speak on it. Do you think Joe Kelly's run on JLA deserves an omnibus? I have very strong answers for this, but go ahead.
I enjoyed the way you've directed it at me. I haven't actually read it. I don't.
Okay, well, that solves that problem.
Oh my god!
Go ahead, Lars.
Don't be ridiculous. I've committed far more heresy on this channel than that. For God's sakes. No, I've never quite gotten around to reading that one. Dom, have you?
I do. And this is all because of my friend in Malaysia who told me, Dom, if you like Morrison's and Wade's, you should read Joe Kelly's. And he said you'll probably end up liking it more than those two.
I mean, Joe Kelly's a reliable writer, and it probably innately makes more sense than the Morrison run. But
well, here's the thing. I like that Joe Kelly. So, in my personal view, I think Grant Morrison has the most interesting stories of the two. If you're just comparing theirs with Mark Waid's run, I think Morrison's stories are more interesting than Waid's. I think Waid's character writing and the people he spotlights in the run are better than Morrison's. Kelly manages to mix both of those worlds and mashes them together perfectly to what I would say is the best JLA run in the 2000s.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So in that retrospect, I would absolutely not only endorse for an omnibus of it. I would be there day one quicker.
You're going to campaign for it. How long does Kelly stay on the title?
A very long time. Very long time enough to be an omnibus.
There you go.
So yes, I fully endorse it, and I fully endorse you guys helping us out on the YouTubes. Omar will be back on Monday with an interview with Steve Orlando at 6 p.m. Eastern time, if I can get the times on that correctly. It is indeed 6 p.m. Eastern time that he will be interviewing Steve Orlando here on this channel. Again, he is catching Pokemon and telling us to mess off, but us four, I believe, will also be back next Friday to talk about the DC Comics solicitations for the month of July 2026 at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And we would again like to thank you all for joining us on this morning. And I would like to thank these three lovely folks and friends for joining me for 2 hours.
You make me feel like the prettiest girl at the ball.
I don't know how to respond to that, but I will now ask where people can find you. Kody, where can people find you, my friend?
KodyCollects on all platforms, covering single issues mostly, but also some collected editions I happen to be reading. I also have been doing some game streaming, dude. I've recently played oh crap. I've been playing Justice League Heroes on the PS2, if anybody's curious about this. So I played this last night. I guess it takes about like 9 hours to beat, something like that. So I think I can get through it in a couple streams. Yeah, look forward to that.
And you didn't bring me on.
Appreciate it. Why? Have you played this? You have any interest? This is my first time playing it, so.
My uncle has that game.
There you go.
So, anyways, half joke, but yes, check out Kody on all of the platforms.
Shout out James. Appreciate it.
Where can people find you, my friend?
On Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omni Bros Monday night and Tuesday afternoon is new Omni Bros time. And after this show, I need to talk to Kody about appearing on Omnidog's Vault.
Absolutely. Always love doing collabs. Of course.
Awesome. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. He was the one that turned you on to comics, wasn't it?
He was, but he's also in the Philippines and works as a dentist and is a very busy man. So, yeah, he is the coolest uncle though. Like his PS2 library, gosh, man, he's got such a big toy collection that it spans not only his house but also my grandma's house in the Philippines.
You need to go on a fact-finding mission over there and make a documentary on him.
Oh, I do. And at some point, I will maybe film his toy collection and say, "Hey, this is mine." Okay, real quick, the other super chat. Has anyone read the Good Asian Graphic Novel by Pornstock Picture Show? If so, what are your thoughts?
Me too. I got it in deluxe.
Ashamed to say I have not read it.
So, I'd love.
I heard it's good though.
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I read this is a book that Crisis and I had slightly differing opinions on. He loved it all the way through, and he's extremely picky about what he likes. So that's a good recommendation from Crisis. I personally thought it fell off at the end really hard. So that's just me. I haven't gotten rid of the deluxe because I want to try and read it again, but peace and love. You might like it, Jack Ferry.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Jack. And Lars, the not Latewegian Assassin.
The not Latewegian Assassin. Lars Pearson, publisher and chief of Mad Norwegian Press. You can find us on madnorwegian.com. We have a number of, again, our Doctor Who guidebooks discounted because of our moving day sale. You can help us out there. I should also put a plug in for one of our better sellers, which we did an X-Files book with Rob Shearman, who's a kind of acclaimed writer and whatnot. And that one you can get on print on demand. And it's doing well for us. There's quite a lot of X-Files people who really, really like it, called Wanting to Believe. So, yeah, always a pleasure to be here. And unlike everyone else here, I do not have a YouTube channel.
Indeed. He is the person who pops up, and if I need him for anything, he typically says yes at any given point in time.
It's a lot of work. Doing a YouTube channel is work, or a podcast.
It is a lot of work.
Someone agreed that I would help. Agreed that I would help Curtis out more with the Epic podcast, and then he stopped doing it. So, yeah.
It hurts, but I just really want to quickly say that you can help support Father Omar hunting Pokemon in the woods. With our Patreon here, we do have tiers: $1 tier, $5 tier, and even a $7.77 tier. If anybody is
Omar, or as we refer to him, Most Holy.
Most holy indeed. So again, just a big shout out to him just before we do get off. Otherwise, in the week, we also do have the Most Wanted DC Omnibus and Absolute reprint poll coming out on the Wednesday, the 15th. And this is going to span, I don't know how far, however many long hours, just to kick it off. This is at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So again, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time for the opening of the Most Wanted DC Omnibus Absolute reprint poll. And then on Friday is, of course, when us four will be back to talk about the DC Comics previews, books that you have probably either seen in the catalog. Now you finally get a chance to order them at the retailers you're at. Of course, you can find me at my own YouTube channel, where tomorrow we'll be talking about some comic book delays and all the other jazz there's a lot of delays on that front. But you can also check us out over at comicreleases.com, where we do have the longest and most up-to-date list for all of the stuff that were put in both Marvel and DC's catalogs, along with all of the other creator-owned titles as well. That is it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining and chilling and listening to Lars Lore with us. Have a good one wherever you may be.
Most importantly, have a good weekend.
Yes, please stay safe.